Rick, what are you doing?
Do you know that once I tiptoed into your room and stood over you for the longest time? It was the most awful temptation to wake you up. I wish that I had. It would have been deliciously wicked.
In 1970, Arthur Penn's Little Big Man premiered, shaking up the Western genre with its satirical and revisionist approach. Starring Dustin Hoffman in a staggering performance spanning ages 10 to 121, the film carved a unique niche in Hollywood history. Alongside Hoffman, the cast included Chief Dan George, Faye Dunaway, Martin Balsam, Jeff Corey, and Richard Mulligan. Adapted from Thomas Berger's 1964 novel, the movie blends humor, drama, and historical critique to depict a white man's life with the Cheyenne tribe and his encounters with historical figures like General Custer and Wild Bill Hickok. But there's one scene everyone remembers, a steamy bathtub moment with Hoffman and Dunaway, which left audiences stunned. How did this provocative and unforgettable moment fit into such a sprawling epic? Let's dive into the story, the production, and the scene that keeps this film iconic. The plot of Little Big Man unfolds through the eyes of Jack Crabb, a 121-year-old man recounting his life to a historian. His tale starts with the massacre of his family by the Pawnee, his adoption by the Cheyenne, and his back-and-forth journey between Native American and white societies. Raised by the wise and wry Old Lodge Skins, played by Chief Dan George, whose performance earned him an Oscar nomination, the first ever for a Native American actor, Jack experiences life as an Indian brave, a gunslinger, a businessman, and even a scout for General Custer. The narrative moves through historical milestones, culminating in the Battle of the Little Bighorn. Jack's unreliable narration adds an element of whimsy, leaving viewers to question what's real and what's exaggerated in his tall tale. Arthur Penn's direction masterfully balances satire and tragedy. The film is unapologetic in its critique of America's treatment of Native Americans, portraying the U.S. cavalry as ruthless aggressors. This commentary mirrored the anti-establishment sentiments of the Vietnam War era, drawing parallels between historical massacres and contemporary atrocities like My Lai. However, Penn softened the film's heavy themes with humor and humanity, particularly through Old Lodge Skin's philosophical reflections and Jack's hapless misadventures. The film's production was as ambitious as its narrative. Shot on location in Montana near the actual site of Little Bighorn, the filmmakers employed members of the Crow Nation as extras, lending authenticity to the Native American scenes. Other sequences were filmed in Alberta, Canada, and on Hollywood sound stages. The extreme locations weren't without challenges. Sub-zero temperatures in Calgary delayed production and tested the endurance of the 122-member crew. The attention to detail extended to Dick Smith's groundbreaking makeup for Hoffman, who aged 8 decades over the course of the film. Hoffman prepared for his role as the elderly Jack by screaming for an hour to achieve the raspy voice of a 121-year-old, a commitment that earned him a spot in the Guinness Book of World Records for portraying the greatest age span by an actor. Casting was another key to the film's success. The role of Old Lodge Skins was initially offered to Hollywood heavyweights like Marlon Brando and Laurence Olivier, who declined. The part eventually went to Chief Dan George, a real-life chief of the Burrard Band of North Vancouver, British Columbia. His natural charisma and authenticity stole the show, bringing depth to his character's musings about life, death, and the follies of white civilization. The film's subversive humor and eccentric characters provided ample fodder for behind-the-scenes anecdotes. Take, for instance, the infamous bathtub scene with Faye Dunaway. Dunaway, playing the repressed and predatory Mrs. Pendrake, bathes Jack in a moment dripping with sexual tension. Hoffman's nervous energy and Dunaway's sultry delivery created a scene that was equal parts awkward and electric. This wasn't Dunaway's first time dominating a sensual scene. Her chess match with Steve McQueen in the Thomas Crown Affair had already cemented her reputation as a screen siren. Her commitment to perfectionism reportedly made her a demanding presence on set, but it's this very intensity that made her performances unforgettable. The film's title, Little Big Man, carries its own intrigue. In history, Little Big Man was an Oglala Lakota warrior who fought alongside, and occasionally against, Crazy Horse. While the film borrows the name, it gives the moniker to Jack Crabb as a reflection of his stature and spirit. The blend of historical fact and fiction epitomizes the film's tone, where larger-than-life stories mix with historical truths to create a complex narrative tapestry. Another fascinating aspect of the film is its portrayal of Native American culture. Unlike the stereotypical portrayals of the time, the Cheyenne are depicted as nuanced, with their humor, traditions, and flaws fully intact. For example, Jack's friendship with the Jimena Little Horse, a gender non-conforming character, was groundbreaking for its time, showing rare sensitivity to Native gender roles. The film doesn't shy away from showing the brutality faced by the Cheyenne, including devastating massacres that parallel real-life events like Sand Creek and Washita. In one of the film's most poignant scenes, Old Lodge Skins prepares for death, proclaiming, "It is a good day to die." But when the rain interrupts his ritual, he shrugs it off with, "Sometimes the magic works, sometimes it doesn't." This blend of humor and gravitas encapsulates the spirit of Little Big Man, a film that manages to be both epic and intimate, satirical and heartfelt. Despite its historical inaccuracies, like embellishments of Wild Bill Hickok's death, the film remains a vital piece of cinema for its audacious storytelling and social commentary. It was added to the National Film Registry in 2014, ensuring its preservation as a culturally and historically significant work. Now it's time to hear from you. What do you think about Little Big Man's unique blend of satire and history? Do you think its humor enhances or detracts from its social commentary? Share your thoughts in the comments below.